In today's lecture, we are going to learn about how primitive and reference data are managed and accessed in memory. To begin with data primitive types. In Java, there are 8 primitive data types, which are byte, sort, int, float, and they are all categorized under integers. Float and double are also categorized under floating point numbers. Char is a character. Boolean is a true or false statement in Java. So these are the 8 primitive data types in Java. Now let's move on to how memory stores data primitive types. 1. It stores directly in stack memory. 2. They hold actual values. 3. When passed to the method, a copy of the value is passed. Now, let's look at how it stores data. 1. When declared inside the method, it stores in the stack. 2. When we use as a field of an object, it stores within the object in the heap. So after it has been stored, now let's look at how we can access it. To access it, 1. We can access it directly via the variable name. 2. It is fast since the value is stored directly. And this is an example of it. Public class test, public static void main into bracket string. Int a. The int is an integer, and an integer is any number. Digits. It can be 5, it can be 6, it can be 7. So int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 20, and we want the system to print 10. So we have to give the print line the nth number of a, so that the system will print the number that is located to the a. So system.out.print a, and the output will be 10. Why? Because the nth number of a is 10. Now let's move on to reference data type. There are examples of reference data types, and these are object. An object can be a new person. Array, string, custom class. Now let's look at how it stores reference data types. The reference data type's address or pointer is in stack. 2. It stores the actual object or array in heap. So after it has been stored, let's look at how we can access the reference data. To access directly or indirectly via a reference variable. 2. It is passed by a value, but since the value is a reference, changes inside the method affect the original objects. So this is example of reference data type. Okay, then let's look at a summary table a summary table of the primitive types and the reference type. Let's look at the features of it. How it stores in. Primitive stores in stack. Reference data type reference in they also store in stack. Object in heap. How it holds. Primitive holds actual values, whilst reference holds memory address. How Let's look at the pass to method. The primitive pass value, which is a copy of the value, whilst the reference type pass by value. Let's look at the default value. The primitive default value is 000, which is false, and the reference type is equal to null. Example: int, boolean, char are characters of primitive data type, whilst string, array list, array, and object are also a reference data type example. Thank you for joining these lectures.